Y'all, what's up? Good evening, everybody. Happy late Wednesday. Say what's up if you come in the chat. Hit the like button. Say where you're watching from. All right, guys. So because of the government shutdown, we got a couple of interesting things going on. So first up, let's do Face the Nation. Vice President Vance addresses the government shutdown. We'll switch gears and go to Sanfei Reacts. Government shutdown 2025 sparks nationwide outrage. What they're not telling you. Will Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance be demonic? So that's Glenn Beck. Shout out to him. We're going to listen to what he has to say about that. And then Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show Facebook comments. So we'll just take a look at what some of the people are saying about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl, which I was going over this with my wife. I said there's going to be a lot of mixed emotion. And then last clip of the live stream, we got this humble man had his whole life changed. So this is a man whose wife bought him a suit so he could go to church, and he's doing that in honor of Charlie Kirk, and he's also planning to give his life to Christ. So I think it was a great outcome. A very powerful short story of how Charlie Kirk moved in someone's life, and they went to church shortly after he passed away. So let's get into the first clip. Face the Nation. Vice President Vance addresses the government shutdown. This is JD Vance and Caroline Levitt, White House press secretary. So she'll start off and then he'll take it over from there. Let's take a listen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Packed house here today, and I have a very special guest with us, the Vice President of the United States. He'll deliver some remarks and take some questions. First, I just want to share remarks of my own. Democrats in Congress have officially shut down the United States government. House Republicans passed a nonpartisan, clean piece of legislation to extend current government funding until November 21st. But nearly every single Democrat senator voted against this bill. To be clear, this was the exact same bill that Democrats approved 6 short months ago in March, just adjusted for inflation. This is the same kind of clean funding bill that Democrats passed 13 separate times when they held the majority during Joe Biden's administration. So the American people woke up this morning and asked the obvious question: why is the government shut down right now? The answer is pure partisan politics being played by the Democratic Party. The Democrats shut down the government because President Trump and the Republicans will not force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegal aliens. America is $37 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to provide taxpayer-funded free health care to illegals who broke the law to enter our country. To put this all into perspective, the Democrats refused to keep the government open over health care to illegal aliens, and now have jeopardized critical health care programs for American citizens instead. The Women, Infants, and Children program, community health center funding, Medicare treatment options, and other health programs are now all at risk because of the Democrats rejecting the Clean CR. The most vulnerable in our country are being punished because the Democrats want to prioritize illegals over American citizens. And if Democrats actually cared about health care, they would applaud the actions taken by President Trump just yesterday in the Oval Office. He took a bold and massively popular action to improve our healthcare system. He announced the first agreement with a major pharmaceutical company, Pfizer, to lower drug costs for Americans. This is a historical achievement, long sought by past Democrat presidents, that only President Trump was able to get done. Also yesterday, while the Democrats were whining about health care for illegal aliens, President Trump signed a powerful executive order to supercharge American AI innovation and unlock cures for pediatric cancer patients in the United States. While President Trump took action to lower drug prices and improve the lives and the care of American children with cancer, again, Democrats are fighting to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. The Trump administration is fully committed to lowering healthcare costs and advancing policies that will save American lives. But right now, we need to keep the government open and funded. And individuals and organizations across the political spectrum, across the country, agree with the Trump administration and Republicans. The labor union leader, the Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, sent a very blunt message to Democrats over their destructive antics. He said American workers are not bargaining chips. Senators need to stop screwing around and pass the House-passed clean short-term funding bill. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the world's largest business organization, called to immediately pass the Republican clean CR, saying, quote, shutdowns are harmful to the economy, the American people, and our national security. And even Democrat Senators Cortez Masto and Fetterman acknowledged that their party is betraying the American people with this costly and chaotic Democrat shutdown. Enough is enough. Democrats need to stop sabotaging our country and holding the American people hostage in the country. Democrats need to do their jobs. The American people want the government reopened, and this is proven in a New York Times poll showing that 2 in 3 Americans say the government should not be shut down by the Democrats, even if their absurd demands are not met. The president and Republicans are working very hard to reopen the federal government. The vice president here has been crucial in this effort. We encourage all Americans across the country, call your Democrat senators and encourage them to reopen the government. That's what President Trump and the vice president want to do. And with that, I will turn it over to our great vice president, JD Vance.
Great. From hard hats to steel-toed boots, Grainger's got your safety needs covered. Literally. Shop Grainger's vast inventory of safety products.
Grainger. Shout out to Grainger.
And good afternoon to everybody, and good afternoon to everybody who's watching at home. It's a tough act to follow, but let me just say a few things, then I'll take a few questions. Number one, Democrats say that they care a lot about lowering healthcare costs, and yet, when the president took historic action to work with the drug companies to lower prescription drug prices, the Democrats did nothing to help us. In fact, we would have loved to have the Democrats helping us, but they didn't. They talk about doing something, they don't actually do the hard work of making it happen. What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. That is what has actually happened. To the American people who are watching, the reason your government is shut down at this very minute is because, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government because they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for health care for illegal aliens. That's a ridiculous proposition. Let me say two other quick things, and then again, I'll take some questions. Number one, we all understand that Democrats and Republicans have policy disagreements. The Democrats want to do things. Look, when Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries were in here a couple of days ago, they made some suggestions that the president was more than happy to say, yes, let's sit down and talk about how we can solve the healthcare crisis that we inherited from the Biden administration. But it's one thing to say that we should solve the healthcare crisis for Americans. It's another thing to say that we're going to shut down the government unless we give the Democrats every single thing that they want, which, as Caroline says, includes giving billions of dollars of taxpayer funding for healthcare for illegal migrants. That's ridiculous. You don't have policy disagreements that serve as the basis for a government shutdown. Let's have the conversation about how to fix American healthcare, about how to make healthcare more accessible. As the president showed, he's more than willing to act on behalf of the American people for this very reason. What you don't do is say, unless you do exactly what we want to do as congressional Democrats, we're taking a hostage. And the hostage, it turns out, is critical, essential services that the American people need. Caroline talked about some of it. Let me talk about some more. Our troops are not getting paid starting today because of the Chuck Schumer wing of the Democratic Party. We have people who require food assistance, low-income Americans who require food assistance, who will not get it unless we reopen the government, thanks to Chuck Schumer and his wing of the Democratic Party. We have flood insurance as we start hurricane season in the southeastern part of our country. That flood insurance is going to disappear because of Chuck Schumer and the far left of the Democratic Party. We need to reopen the government. Let's fix America's problems. Let's work together to solve them. But let's reopen the government before we have our negotiation about health care policy. That's what the American people demand, and that's certainly what the President of the United States wants. So let me make one final point. I think a lot of Americans are asking themselves, why did this happen? Why did the Democrats shut down the government despite, as Caroline said, voting on the exact same piece of legislation 6 months ago? And there are a lot of different spins that we can put on it, a lot of different answers that we could give, all of them true. One answer I already gave is that they want to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. That is true. They gave us legislative text that would have undone us cutting off health care benefits for illegal aliens. That's one of the things that they asked for. But the reality here, and let's be honest about the politics, is that Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge. So I'd invite Chuck Schumer to join the moderate Democrats and 52 Senate Republicans, do the right thing, open up the people's government, and then let's fix healthcare policy for the American people. Questions?
Mr. Vice President.
That's a lot. Matt Boyle.
Okay. Mr. Vice President, there's two key Democrat lies I would like to get you to take on and see if you can address. The first is that you're seeing a number of top Democrat leaders, from Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer to Keith Jeffries, claim that it is a Republican shutdown caused by Trump. The second is that they're out there now claiming that they don't want to give health care to illegal aliens. Can you address both of those lies from the Democrat Party?
Yeah, so on the point that it's a Republican shutdown, look, it's obviously a Democratic shutdown. Just look at the vote totals in the House, look at the vote totals in the Senate, and look at the President of the United States' own action and conduct throughout this crisis. Nearly every single House Republican voted to open the government, Matt. Nearly every single Senate Republican voted to open the government last night, and even to their credit, a few moderate Democrats voted to open the government. That's not a Republican shutdown when nearly every single Senate Democrat votes to shut it down and every Republican voted to open it up. It's just obviously not true. Now, you can disagree about a number of things, but you can't disagree about the obvious fact that Republicans voted to open the government. The president stands ready to sign that opening of the government. We just need a few more Democrats to join us in that effort to open the government. Your final question about illegal alien benefits. Look, the text is very clear. And I even saw, I think it was George Stephanopoulos, in an interview with Mike Johnson, did a fact check that was totally rooted in baseless claims. It was basically Democrat propaganda. If you look at the legislative text that they gave us, they tried to turn on two separate provisions that would give health care benefits to illegal aliens. Number one, if you're an American citizen, you've been to a hospital in the last few years, you probably noticed that wait times are especially large, and very often somebody who's there in the emergency room waiting is an illegal alien, very often a person who can't even speak English. Why do those people get health care benefits at hospitals paid for by American citizens? The answer is a decision made by the Biden administration that the Trump administration, working with congressional Republicans, undid. We turned off that money spigot to health care funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats, in their legislative text, want to turn it back on. That's one thing. The second thing, Matt, is we all know that there are various ways in which the Biden administration waved away illegal immigration status. They gave parolees, they gave asylum claims to people who weren't really claiming asylum.
They sure
and
did.
When they waved the magic wand of amnesty, giving millions of people legal status even though they were in the country illegally, they also gave those people access to health care benefits. So what the Democrats are engaging in is a sleight of hand. They're saying, no. Those weren't illegal aliens who were getting health care benefits, even though everybody, knows they were in the country illegally. It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us, and all you have to do is understand that this is about who benefits. We think the American people's government ought to benefit American citizens. The Democrats are willing to shut it down to benefit illegal aliens. The contrast couldn't be more clear. Peter.
Thank you, Vice President Vance. The big holdup is, of course, that you guys say illegal immigrants are getting taxpayer-funded health care. Democrats say you're lying. That makes it feel like it could be a really long shutdown. Is this going to be a long shutdown?
I don't know. I can't predict what congressional Democrats are going to do, Peter, but I actually don't think it's going to be that long of a shutdown. This is a pure guess from the Vice President of the United States because I think you already saw some evidence that moderate Democrats are cracking a little bit. They understand the fundamental illogic of this. Look, for years, every single one of us, we can remember Barack Obama on the White House lawn, we can remember Chuck Schumer, we can remember Nancy Pelosi for years. In Chuck Schumer's case, for literally decades, we've heard them say, you don't shut the government down over policy disagreement. Okay, Republicans think this thing about healthcare, that thing about healthcare. Democrats think this thing about immigration, Republicans disagree. Whatever those disagreements are, you don't shut down the government over it. For the first time since the Democrats have been in politics, they're now saying that unless we get every policy item that we demand, we're going to shut down the people's government. They're trying to take a hostage, and we're not going to let them.
And the administration announced today that $18 billion bound for New York transportation projects is going to be frozen so it can't go to DEI programs there. But the timing of this, does announcing that today mean that you guys are going to squeeze Chuck Schumer's home state until he blinks?
Look, I haven't talked to Russ about this morning, but look, I'm sure that Russ is heartbroken about the fact that he's unable to give certain things to certain constituencies. We want to do everything that we can to help the American people, but when the Democrats shut down the government, we have to actually do a little triage to make sure the most critical and most essential services are provided. The government does a lot of things. Of course, Republicans think that the federal government probably does too much, but there are a lot of critical things the federal government does that absolutely all of us would agree need to do. Our troops need to get paid. Our air traffic controllers need to make sure that people are flying safely and on time. We need low-income people to be able to access the food services that are provided by the federal government. There are critical things that need to be saved. We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to be perfect because we are in a government shutdown. We are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
You ready? Doing hard things, challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, and thank you for being here. Yesterday, President Trump said, as a result of the shutdown, we'll be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they are going to be Democrats. Has the administration asked agencies to target federal workers who they believe to be Democrats in these reductions of forces to work?
We're not targeting federal agencies based on politics. We're targeting the people's government so that as much as possible of the essential services can continue to function. That is the question the president has asked the entire government, is fundamentally, okay, we're in a shutdown. That causes some problems. The troops aren't getting paid. There's nothing that we can do about that while the government is shut down. But there are essential services that we want to make sure as much as possible they still continue to function. That is the principle that's driving us forward during this shutdown. It's going to continue to be the principle that drives us forward. But let's be honest. If this thing drags on for another few days or, God forbid, another few weeks, we are going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to save money in some places so that essential services don't get turned off in other places. That is the reality of the government shutdown that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have foisted upon the administration.
So what did you mean by they're going to be Democrats? He said they're going to be Democrats.
You've laid out a lot of the pain and problems that would come with a Democratic shutdown, and yet in the Oval Office yesterday, the president said that a lot of good could come from a shutdown. So square that circle. Which is a Democratic-caused crisis or a Republican opportunity for reform?
Well, I think all the president is saying, Phil, is that he wants to make sure the American people's government functions as well as it can, despite the fact that we're in a shutdown. We're going to have to make things work. And that means that we're going to have to triage some certain things. That means certain people are going to have to get laid off. And we're going to try to make sure that the American people suffer as little as possible from this shutdown. That's what the president is saying, is that yes, this is a bad thing. Obviously, the president is trying to reopen the government, but we're going to make things work as well as we possibly can, given the constraints that we have.
And then on those policy differences for the discussion and the negotiations to come later, during the Biden administration, Democrats twice voted to expand these Affordable Care Act tax credits. But those were supposed to be temporary, and they were slated to expire at the end of the year. As you sort of crack the door open to negotiation at a later date, would the party that ran on defunding Obamacare really negotiate about potentially expanding Obamacare?
Well, Phil, what we've said to the Democrats is that we're willing to have a conversation about how to ensure that Americans continue to have access to health care, and frankly, they should have access to better health care at a lower cost. We inherited a mess of a health care system from the Biden administration. It's why the president has worked so hard on the most favored nation status for prescription drugs. It's why we care so much about lowering the cost of prescriptions and why we're doing everything else. We're willing to have that conversation, but I think it's important to bracket the healthcare policy conversation because it's separate from the government shutdown. We think that we can open the government and then have the conversation about what best healthcare policy to fit the needs of the American people. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to accomplish. We've got to reopen the government first. Now, Caroline, I don't know how you do this, how you actually choose people, because I don't know 90% of the names in here. Is it just who's the best dressed? Okay, I really like your shirt. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. You are President of the Senate. Can you talk about what you're doing, what the administration is doing to try to get other Senate Democrats to vote to open the government?
Yeah, we're talking to a number of our colleagues, Democratic and Republican in the Senate. I talked to a number of them last night. The president, of course, is talking to them as well. I think there really are two categories of demands that I've seen privately from congressional Democrats. I think on the one hand, those who are negotiating in good faith are saying, look, we just want to make sure that we're able to have a conversation with the administration about some of the critical needs that we see that need to get fixed over the next few months. We recognize it's kind of absurd, and a lot of them will admit in private that it's kind of absurd to shut down the people's government over these disagreements, but just agree to negotiate with us in good faith on these issues, and of course we're having that conversation with them. Then there's another category, people who say, give us everything we want or we're going to keep the government shut down. We just write those people off because they're not negotiating in good faith, and frankly, we don't need them. We've already got 3 more Democrats last night than I thought we would get, and I think it's because they recognize the illogic of the position of taking the entire American economy hostage because they don't get their policy priorities. So 3 moderate Democrats joined 52 Republicans last night. We need 5 more in order to reopen the government, and that's really where we're going to focus, is how to get those 5 additional Democrats.
Thanks, Mr. Vice President. First 2 questions. Are there plans to meet Democratic leaders again in the coming days, or are you planning on plucking out senators one by one?
So that's the whole question?
No, I got a second.
Okay, go ahead and ask the second question.
So the president's been posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer.
I saw.
Recently, you've said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful just to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. And I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I talked to the President of the United States about that. Now, to your first question, are we negotiating one-on-one? Are we negotiating in groups? Look, I will go to the U.S. Capitol right now and meet with Chuck Schumer or any Senate Democrat if it helps us reopen the government. Most of the conversations, in my experience at least, have been one-off. We're also, of course, relying on some of our Senate Republican colleagues who have good relationships across the aisle. We're going to do whatever we have to do is the answer, and I think it's tough to predict what shape this negotiation is going to take over the next few months, but I feel good about the fact that Democrats already realize privately the fundamental irrationality of their position. I hope that they're going to publicly acknowledge it and reopen the government. Guy in the back, yeah.
Mr. Vice President, responded to a post on X of Chuck Schumer on the House floor back in 1996, railing against illegal immigrants receiving taxpayer-funded benefits. He said Chuck Schumer once recognized that it was disastrous to give illegal aliens rewards for breaking the law. Now he wants to shut down the government unless we reward illegal aliens for breaking the law. Why has Chuck Schumer changed his stance?
That's a good question. Actually, it's a very tough question. Asking me to get in the head of Chuck Schumer is not a place I particularly want to be, but my basic read on it is that the entire Democratic Party, the political leadership, not every Democrat nationwide, but the political leadership of their party has got it into their heads that the only way to be compassionate is to be compassionate to illegal aliens rather than American citizens. If you go back to what Bill Clinton was saying, even Barack Obama in some cases, what he was saying about illegal immigration 10, 15, 20 years ago, you would put them on the MAGA right based purely on their rhetoric around illegal immigration. So I don't know why they've gone so far to the left. I think it's bad for the country. I think it's bad for them politically. But our principle, all I can do is speak for the president that I serve and the country, the administration that I serve right now. We believe that the American people's government exists for the American people. That means the people who have the legal right to be here, and that's why we're fighting to reopen the government. And unfortunately, the Democrats are fighting to shut it down for the benefit of illegal aliens. And I'll take a couple more, and then I'll let Caroline. I'll go back to my day job, so Caroline can go back to hers. All right. Yes.
Mr. Vice President. Just going back to the sombrero. You said that the president was joking, but Hakeem Jeffries says that these meetings were racist. What's your response to that? And just if I may briefly go off topic, Secretary Hegseth yesterday made an edict about no more beardos in the military. Just wondered what.
Sorry, what did he say?
No more beardos. Beers. Sorry, it's my accent, but just wanted your response to that.
I didn't see that particular comment. I thought Pete gave a hell of a speech, and a speech that really is just oriented around returning the American military to the very high standards that it has had for virtually its entire history until Joe Biden came along and decided to lower standards. I think it was bad for our military, and it was bad for our troops. When I was a young United States Marine, I did not have a beard. I am now the vice president, so I get to do what I want to do. But I think Pete's trying to re-implement high standards, and that's a very good thing. On the sombrero thing, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries said it was racist, and I know that he said that, and I honestly don't even know what that means. Like, is he a Mexican American that is offended by having a sombrero meme? I mean, I saw one of the major TV stations put the meme up and then say, this is AI generated. And he had like the curly animated mustache too. It's like, do you really not realize the American people recognize that he did not actually come to the White House wearing a sombrero and a black curly animation mustache? Like, give the country a little bit of credit. We're all trying to do a very important job for the American people. The President of the United States likes to have a little bit of fun when he's doing it, and I think that's okay. I'll take one more question.
Vice President, in every previous shutdown, workers have been furloughed, not laid off. So why does the president want to fire some workers and not just furlough them? Why is this shutdown any different?
Well, first of all, we haven't made any final decisions about what we're going to do with certain workers. What we're saying is that we might have to take extraordinary steps, especially the longer this goes on. We're going to have to take extraordinary measures to ensure that the government operates, again, not perfectly, because it's not going to operate perfectly in the midst of a shutdown, but operate as well as it possibly can. And I think that the Democrats, if they're so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government, not complain about how we respond to the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government in the first place. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you. See you guys.
The federal government officially shut down today for the first time in almost 7 years. Earlier today, the Senate failed to pass bills introduced by each party to keep the government open. Among some notable government agencies,
nobody wants a stained, dirty toilet.
Ugh.
But many clean.
The Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, that's expected to furlough 89% of its employees. The Department of Education, 87%, the Labor Department, 76%, and the Department of Health and Human Services at 41% furloughed. Both Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pointed fingers at the other side for the shutdown.
They have taken the American people hostage in a way that they think benefits them politically, but at the consequence and the cost of what's going to happen to the American families if this government shutdown continues.
Republicans thought that they could barrel us into a shutdown because they didn't want to protect the health care of the American people. Well, now they've seen they can't bully us.
And CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Hewing-Burns joins us from Capitol Hill. Caitlin, very good to see you. After these two failed votes in the Senate today, though, what comes next? Is there any kind of off-ramp in sight here?
Yeah, Nancy, that is the question that everybody up here on Capitol Hill is asking. How does this end? I can tell you that earlier today, there has been a little bit of progress in terms of talking. Remember, we saw both sides really entrenched in their positions. Republicans saying this is just a clean extension of current funding. Democrats saying that they won't support anything unless it ensures that those healthcare subsidies that are supposed to run out at the end of the year are renewed. We saw earlier today on the Senate floor a group of bipartisan lawmakers talking, and we've heard from some of them that they are talking about potential shorter proposals to get the government back up and running, and also discussions about that healthcare component. But it is such early days right now in terms of those discussions, and both sides are really dug in on their positions. And we just heard from the vice president at the White House saying that the government has to reopen in order for any negotiations to move forward. So the big question is, whether Democrats say, okay, we'll take some kind of discussion, but they have been asking for actual policy in this bill. And Republicans, as you saw from that press conference, are very adamant that they pass this short-term resolution to get the government open again.
And as they stand so far apart here, why could this shutdown potentially be more risky or riskier for the Democrats and the Republicans here?
Well, you may be looking at government and say, don't Republicans control the House and the Senate? That's true, they do. But in the Senate, they do need support from Democrats to pass anything like this. They need 60 votes. Republicans only have 53. So they do need several Democrats to come on board. And that's why Democrats have used this opportunity as a point of leverage to ask for policies that they want. And they're also getting a really strong pushback from their base, the base of the Democratic Party, pushing lawmakers up here to push the president more, to hold the administration accountable more, to stand up and fight against the administration in their view. So that's the pressure that leaders on the Democratic side are facing. You may remember back in March, we were in a similar scenario, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer decided to go ahead and let members support the bill because he was worried about the impact of a shutdown. It turned out he got a lot of pushback and backlash from the base of his party, and so this is a different stance. The question is whether someone blinks. This is really a staring contest at this point. We are now in a government shutdown, and I can tell you, Nancy, I spoke to a federal worker today who's really feeling the impact. Federal workers will get paid eventually. They'll get paid back. But right now, they won't get a paycheck that doesn't help for paying the bills that are due.
Yeah, absolutely. The daycare, the utility, what have you, bills. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you for your context and reporting. And Vice President Vance put the responsibility solely on Democrats for allowing the situation to play out the way it is. Here's some of what he had to say during today's press briefing.
To the American people who are watching, the reason your government is shut down at this very minute is because, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government because they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for health care for illegal aliens. That's a ridiculous proposition.
And for more on this, we have CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi. Olivia, thanks for being here with us. The president has discussed the possibility of mass layoffs during this shutdown, teasing that they will be Democrats. This is in addition to a buyout for some 150,000 government workers that goes into effect today. What do we know about his plan to take advantage possibly of this shutdown and what that could look like?
Well, Nancy, it's good to be with you. Our Wei Zhang actually asked the vice president this question. Are they targeting Democrats as part of this reduction in force that they're able to do because the government is shut down? Vice President Vance said they're not targeting federal agencies based on politics. He said they are targeting people's government so that as much as possible the essential services can continue to function, and saying that they're going to target those non-essential services, those services that they believe are not helping the productivity of the government, are what they're going to be looking at. But the president yesterday said that teasing that Democrats would be a part of this as well. They were also asked about those reduction in force emails that will be going out. We heard from Russ Vought, who said that those could who said that those could happen within the next 2 days if this shutdown continues. The vice president, who actually has become kind of the messenger from the White House on this shutdown, given his history in the Senate and his time there, has really been outspoken about the shutdown, said that he hopes this isn't a long one, but they do need Democrats to come to the table to get this continuing resolution passed. But as of right now, and as you just heard from Caitlin Huey-Burns, doesn't seem like there's a lot of movement on this at this moment. So we're expecting some of that messaging
also release the Epstein files.
Especially as this
Shout out to you, Nick.
The entire White House and Washington, D.C.
We didn't forget about the Epstein files, Nick.
Olivia Rinaldi, thank you. And the government shutdown is causing potentially critical economic data to be delayed, including this week's jobs report. Earlier, CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady explained to my colleague Vlad Dutier that this could have serious ripple effects down the road. So this is really important. We were going to get a jobs report on Friday, a CPI inflation report next week. That comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They are out there gathering economic data. When the government is shut down, they can't do that. And so they have already stated in a shutdown, they aren't going to release those numbers. It's going to be delayed. Why is that important? The Federal Reserve is going to meet at the end of October, and they're going to utilize this data to determine if they're going to cut interest rates. The market is banking on a quarter-point cut at least by the end of the month. But I've been talking to analysts who said, hey, the Fed may just sort of go back to that wait-and-see approach because they don't have the data. And O'Grady says officials may have to start relying on other potentially private data sets like ADP payroll numbers to make decisions in the near future.
All right, shout out to JD Vance for addressing the nation. Yeah, he's kind of been the spokesperson for all of this from the White House. President Trump, we haven't heard from too much. I think by now he has made a statement, but I know earlier when I was going to cover it, he hadn't done it just yet. Oh man, government shutdown. I pretty much knew this was imminent. I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but the news anchor made a great point. She said, you know, when they're going through the Senate, the Republicans do need the Democrats to pass this type of legislation. They need about 8 Democratic votes, and I think they got 3. So I mean, come on now. You know, and this is why, like, they're playing the game perfectly, saying, like, oh, the Republicans have the House, and the Republicans have... So they're like, this is a Republican shutdown, and I'm like, it's absolutely not a Republican shutdown, because we can see that all the Republicans voted for it. We got 5 Democrats missing, so because 5 of them wanted to be stubborn and not come over, this is what happens. And I'm like, oh, man, come on, man, come on. All right, let's keep going. Government shutdown 2025 sparks nationwide outrage. What they are not telling you. Shout out to San Fe. Let's take a listen.
Here we go again, y'all. Here we go again. Another government shutdown. Keep on watching, because you're going to know the real reason why. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Lord. Do I have one for you today? Do you work for the government? Do you? Are you receiving government benefits, government funds? Are you on Section 8? Is he going to agree with the new sheriff in town? Is he going to agree with the Democrats and what they want? And we all know what they want, y'all. We know what they want. We're going to let Terrence explain it to you. Terrence Williams. Y'all should go over there and check him out.
Shout out to Terrence K Williams.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all over. He's speaking facts and he does not hold back. And we're going to hear from JD Vance too. Now I know I have some Democrats over here, and that's okay. You can voice your opinion. You can say what you want to, as long as you keep it on the topic. Do you understand me, trolls? Do you? Nobody hates you. Thank you for everything that you purchased for me and give to me. Thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it. All right, here we go, Terrence. Tell them what's going on. Pay close attention, y'all. Pay close attention. Watch and learn.
Shut it down. Shut it all the way down. And blame it on the Democrats. Because it is their fault. If the government shut down, it is the fault of the Democrats. And Republicans don't cave.
Don't cave, Republicans. That's what he's saying. Because we often give up. We cave to their needs and what they want. We cave to it. Why? Because we care about people. We want people to continue to get their checks, their benefits. The people who deserve it. Let me say that. Even though a lot of y'all don't deserve it. But we want you to continue to get your funds and your paychecks if you work for the government. We want you to continue to get it. But do you think the Democrats care? No, they have one stipulation. I don't know, it could be a couple. Here we go.
Fall for the okie doke. President Donald J. Trump, don't fall for the okie doke. Let the government shut down. And you want to know why the Democrats want to shut it down? Because the Republicans are refusing to give free health care to illegal immigrants.
Wait a minute. They're illegal. And we can't get free health care. But they want to give it to someone who's not supposed to be over here in this country, who crossed the border, who has not been vetted, who's not legal yet. Free health care. Forget about you, the American people. And see, Democrat people, y'all don't believe that the Democrats, there's something wrong with that party? You don't believe it? They are not for the American people. They're for the illegals and other people who come across that border. That ain't got no business being over here. Y'all still okay with that? We're going down there. Let us know. Democrats, let us know.
They ain't supposed to be here any damn way.
It's all right.
Free health care? Americans don't even get free health care. So why in the world do y'all want illegal immigrants to get free health care when Americans don't even get free health care? Make it make sense. And so y'all want the American people to suffer.
They want us to suffer because if we give them free health care, do you know how many people over here illegally? We're going to be a broke-ass country. But how can you give illegals free health care? I thought ICE was picking them up, taking them back to where they're supposed to be. I guess they can't catch them all. But if you let them get on the health care system, free health care system, maybe you can find out where they are and send all their asses back and let them come over here legally. We don't mind you coming over here, but we want you over here legally. We want you to serve a purpose. We don't want you coming over here and you cannot be a productive citizen. And we got to take care of you because you got to get on Section 8 and food stamps and welfare. We don't want that. Come over here correctly and be a productive citizen. Now, what's wrong with that, y'all? What's wrong with that?
Because you want illegal immigrants who are going to be deported anyway to get free health care?
Right.
What? Shut it down. Y'all, I do believe it's going to get shut down because the Democrats don't care about the American people.
They don't.
Now she is right. It's a 92% chance right now. Actually, I would say it's about 100% chance because I will bet on the Democrats to not do what is right for the American people.
Do you think the Republicans are going to cave in because they're going to feel bad for the American people? They want, they want them to be able to live and pay their rent and utilities and phones and whatever else, take care of their children. Do you think the Republicans are going to cave in? If the Democrats don't cave in, that lets me know one thing right there. They are true demons. They are true devils. But see, now they're going to say that about the Republicans because they will not cave in. So does that make both sides demons? Does it? Put it on down there.
But the government is going to shut down because the Democrats don't give a damn. But y'all don't fall for the okie doke. Don't even fall for it. Do you get free health care? So why in the world are they fighting for illegal immigrants to get free health care? Why? Why? It don't make no sense, do it? Republicans don't fall for the okie doke. Don't let them shut it down. Shut it on down. I'll be damned if some illegal immigrants get free health care when people who are from America don't even get free health care.
You know what Trump said he's going to do? If they have to shut down, a lot of employees and a lot of government funds are going to be cut. Because we can't have this, okay? Some of y'all gonna lose y'all jobs. That's exactly what he said. And y'all voted for these people. Y'all did. Now some of y'all gonna lose your damn job.
Don't nobody in my family get free health care. Come on, y'all. Make it make sense. The shutdown's gonna happen, but blame it on the Democrats. Oh, this 92 is going to 100%. I can guarantee you that because the Democrats don't give a damn about the American people. So, we gonna see though. We are going to see. But if it's shut down, blame it on the Democrats. Blame it on them.
So, do y'all think we should blame it on the Democrats? Or should we blame it on the Republicans because they don't want to give the illegals free health care? Should we blame it on the Democrats? Or should we blame it on both of them? Well, you gotta choose what's right, y'all. Okay? What's right? Is it right for illegal immigrants to get health care, government funds, and the Americans have to suffer, sick, can't afford health care, can't even barely afford to go to the hospital to see about their high blood pressure, their diabetes, and other ailments that they have? But you want the immigrants to be healthy and not the American people? So should we shut down or should we stand our ground? Should we? Put it on down in the comment section. I'm telling y'all, it's about to get worse. All right, here's JD Vance.
And we just had a very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut the government down. We have disagreements about healthcare policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential first services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is...
Don't pay our troops. Oh, they gonna pay those troops. I can tell you that right now. Some of you other federal people, y'all might get cut. They gonna look at your job and see is it worth having.
Oh yeah, because we gotta go to
Can
war.
we cut this and save this? Because this person really don't do a damn thing. Y'all know good and well a lot of government workers, they don't do nothing. Y'all know this. Some of y'all are that government worker that don't do crap, all right? So they can pass that job on to somebody else, okay? Maybe add it on to their job. But they got too many unnecessary positions. They do. Right on.
Excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government.
That sounds like blackmail to me. That's what that is. If you don't do it, we're gonna blackmail your ass. We're gonna blackmail you. Do what we say or be shut down. There needs to be some type of way that this cannot happen. Needs to be.
It's not supposed to happen.
The JD Vance, I don't know who's gonna pass the Congress and go to the Senate, and if it's a tie, who's gonna break that tie? JD Vance, okay. And who you think he gonna side with? Huh? Trump, that's who he gonna side with. Kind of cute though, I ain't gonna lie. He's really fine. Oh Lord.
What?
See you soon. This is what the family calls a solar eclipse.
Exactly.
Santa, you hitting on the vice president? Let me find out, bro.
What they're proposing out there. Now we have to remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care, while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation.
I'm pretty sure there's other stuff that they're not mentioning, but it must be mighty small, okay? But this right here, this is just too much right here. This is too much. We can't allow this. We cannot allow this. We can't. Do you think other countries would do that? Give illegal immigrants free health care?
Absolutely not. Not illegal immigrants.
Free every damn thing?
But America's just crazy like that.
We are such a stupid ass country.
We
Like I
crazy.
said, we have a new sheriff in town now. A new one.
We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that
They're trying to make the Republicans look bad. They want to blame it on us. You know, the Republicans, conservatives. They want to blame it on them because they don't want to look bad. Look at us. We're trying to help people. We're trying to help the immigrants. We're trying to stop ICE from taking them away. We're trying to help them to get government funds. Free medical care. Even though ICE is picking their ass up. I don't understand that part. I really don't.
preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American healthcare policy is broken. Well, we know that American healthcare policy is broken.
It's going to be even more broken if we put the illegal aliens, migrants, if we give them free health care. It's going to be broken even more. Is that what they want? Is it? Whew.
Trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office, but every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American healthcare is policy that Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American healthcare policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together. But let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do. And the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see. I'll look this.
No, they did not change their mind, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly, they didn't change their mind.
Let me check my phone. Today is October the 1st. I'm going to see that the government shut down at the time of this video.
Yep.
I'm just trying to see if they made some type of agreement. Just trying to see.
She did this 7 hours ago.
Government shuts down after Trump and Congress failed to reach a deal.
Yeah, we still there, Sanfei. So, you know, the Democrats didn't change their mind. And the only reason why I'm saying that, it's not like I'm saying this like, oh, because I'm conservative or I'm Republican or independent or I hate Democrats. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it based off the votes. Like we see it. They said it. We need 8 Democrat votes. We had 3, right? So we're missing about 5 votes, right? 5 is pretty substantial. We had 3 Democrats come over and actually support it. But that was not enough. So we are still at this point of a government shutdown. So that is why you're going to hear many people say, thank you, Democrats. The Democrats are trying to push it and say it's a Republican shutdown because the Republicans have the entire House. But that does not mean it's a Republican shutdown when they only needed 8 Democrats to keep the government open. And the Democrats decided to not play ball. Yeah, not shocking there, right? All right, guys, let's switch gears. We're going to go to Glenn Beck. Shout out to Glenn Beck. Will Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance be demonic? I thought it was interesting that he chose the word demonic. So that immediately tells me that this person is probably looking at things from a Christian perspective. So let's see what they have to say.
This is Bad Bunny. And I have to tell you, I don't understand Bad Bunny. I don't claim to understand Bad Bunny. I've never heard of Bad Bunny before, and I'm pretty cool with that. I mean, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I'm all Bad Bunny'd out, I guess. Now, Jason, who is a little cooler, Jason Whitlock from the place, he's joining us now because you're apoplectic on Bad Bunny.
Yes, I am, Glenn.
All right.
Look, obviously they're trolling Donald Trump. Obviously, they're trolling ICE raids and the whole illegal immigration policy enacted by Trump. Obviously, they're going out to Northern California, where the Super Bowl's in Santa Clara this year, and they Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, and well, this is their headquarters, and they want to make a statement about illegal immigration. They want to make a statement about diversity and Spanish-speaking people. They want to make a statement about transgenderism and sexual fluidity, and Bad Bunny checks all those boxes. And so that's what they're doing. This has nothing to do with football fans. This is about the left's control of popular culture and control of the national football thing in popular culture, using it to make a big, bold statement about how they feel about Donald Trump, but more importantly, how they feel about Jesus Christ.
So now, as an expert on Bad Bunny for the last 35 seconds, let me push back on this. I think I agree with you, Jason, but let me push back on you. I see the NFL, I see the NBA placating China because that's their new place. In the NFL, all over the world, NFL really trying to get football to be American football in other markets. Why is this not just a continuation of that play to get the Super Bowl to be watched in Latin America?
Because there's plenty of other Latin American artists they could have chosen if that was the play. They didn't have to pick someone who is so closely associated with demonic activity, so closely associated with promoting gender fluidity and the cross-dressing deal. They didn't have to pick someone who's so outspoken against Donald Trump and his illegal immigration policy. This is the poster boy for Trump hate, and this is the poster boy for sexual fluidity and redefining masculinity. These are things straight out of his own mouth. And look, all money isn't good money. And that's what globalism is teaching us, that we can throw away all of our Christian values, all of our American values in pursuit of global money. And then what are we left with? A drag show at halftime of the biggest platform we have to offer in American culture. And so parents will be having discussions with their kids on Super Bowl Sunday. Mommy, Daddy, why is this man out here dressed as a woman during some part of this act? Why are his fingernails painted? Why is he taking subtle shots at Trump? This is, to me, part of it's a reaction to the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service. It was such a powerful pro-Jesus Christ deal. They have their answer now, and it'll be Super Bowl Sunday.
Let me ask you, because he won't tour in the United States because of ICE, right? So he's already sworn off the United States of America as a tourist stop because he is so strongly anti-ICE. You just said that he was also demonic, or he pushes demonic things. I want to play a piece of audio that we have from somebody who went to his tour, and then I'd like you to explain, for somebody who is now a full 90 seconds into, what's his name, the bunny guy, what this means.
The bunny guy.
When I moved to America, I was shocked by how much clutter you could bring to selling.
That's crazy word.
Fans are reporting that they felt a demonic presence when attending Bad Bunny's recent concert. Fans even started to make it into a meme by taking videos saying that the concert just feels demonic. But it became extremely dark when this song, Botanico, came on, where there were masked demons dancing all over him and the concert turned all red. Even the music video to this song is extremely dark. It's this monster-looking thing that creeps up into this woman's room, and it actually ends up becoming Bad Bunny himself. Those who attended this concert are even advising people, if you're gonna go see Bad Bunny's concert, then schedule your bathroom break.
More of this, obviously AI. The image that they put is Nosferatu. The vampire Nosferatu. Tell me what. I've seen a lot of stuff that I feel is pushing demonic forces, especially in the music industry. Tell me what your thoughts are on this, why it's clear to you.
The music industry clearly has a close association with the occult movement. This goes all the way back to the Beatles and probably before that. But in rap music, these rappers, American and this guy, Bad Bunny, and everybody else, they so are out of the closet with the occult symbolism in their music, in their videos, what they rap and talk about. It's undeniable that there is an occult association. And Glenn, this is funny. Yesterday, as I'm processing this, and on Sunday, I started thinking about, well, what song could we use as a protest song for, what they're doing here at the Super Bowl? And I was like, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. And I go look it up because I just remember from my childhood, and it's Twisted Sister. They had the song, We're Not Gonna Take It. And then I went and watched the video. And the video is a kid in his bedroom. His dad comes in yelling at him, and the kid spins around and like turns into an adult, long-haired, cross-dressing man and starts singing the song, We're Not Gonna Take It. And I'm just like, holy cow, they've been putting this message in music
and you didn't know it.
It came out in 1984.
Yeah, I know. I unfortunately was on the radio, playing the hits when that was up. Is it true that Jay-Z is responsible for selecting the last 6 years of the inclusive halftime shows?
Absolutely, all loved it. And it actually, Jay-Z's first Super Bowl that he ran, I believe, is in 2020. He picked Shakira, but the special guest was Bad Bunny. His special guest was Bad. So this started in 2020. This is always where it was going. You can find plenty of videos of Jay-Z doing spirit dancing and occult-like activity. This is what Jay-Z is all about, and much of it is justified and or defended. But diversity, we gotta have diversity. And Jay-Z's black, and they're just upset because Jay-Z's black, and no one has to deal with. No, we're upset because he promotes the occult, that he promotes a form of music that is grooming our kids for violence, grooming our kids for sexual fluidity and promiscuity and degeneracy and disrespect for authority. And that's what we don't like about Jay-Z. They use this racial deal and accusations of you're a racist if you criticize Jay-Z or criticize anything defined as black culture. And if you're someone like me, they say you're an Uncle Tom and a sellout. And this is why for years I've been running around saying, men, particularly white men, you're gonna have to buckle up, get over the fact that they're gonna call you racist, and defend your values and beliefs. If your values align with Jesus Christ, you defend them and you deal with the consequences. That's what I do, that's what you do, that's what Charlie Kirk did, that's what we all have to do if we're going to stand up to this madness and insanity.
So how do you stand up against this? Because nobody is going to abandon the NFL. I mean, Jesse Kelly said, yesterday? They're very upset. Everybody's very upset about that. They'll have another 6-day boycott of the NFL. And that's true.
Glenn, I do think there's an opportunity here as it relates to the Super Bowl, as it relates to some sort of counter-programming, Super Bowl halftime at least, or just on the Super Bowl. I've listened to Jack Pasavic and others suggest, hey, we should have a counter deal through TPUSA, through the Blaze, through whatever. Can we get Creed to perform? Can we get, in my view, I love Forrest Frank. And I would love for churches to host events on Super Bowl Sunday in the evening so that we have, because Glenn, there's no chance of me watching the Super Bowl this year. I talked about it last year. I was upset with Kendrick Lamar. This is the bridge way too far for me. I will not watch the Super Bowl this year. I get skipping out on it. I don't think it's the appropriate thing to skip out on the NFL and sports altogether, because the Young Men's Christian Association, the YMCA, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they organized sports. Sports have been stolen from Christians. And I don't believe in surrendering and just handing it over to them and to the atheists, to the secular crowd. It's a tool God intended for us to use to disciple and mentor masculine men in Christianity. It's been stolen from us by television, and we need to fight to have it back because it's a great tool to disciple young men. So I don't believe in abandoning, but as it relates to the Super Bowl, no dice for me. There's not. You couldn't pay me to watch this year's Super Bowl because I feel like I would be spitting in the face of God.
Well, I will tell you that, I don't care about sports, but my family cares deeply about, the NFL and depending on who's playing. But I could see even the diehards, my son, I could absolutely see him saying, turning it off. And those ratings matter. Those ratings matter. Turning not just the game off, but even if you turned off the halftime show.
Sure.
Those ratings
it drops
matter a great deal. If everybody just said, I'm not watching this and turned to something else for the halftime show, that is a half step, but an important half step. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Totally agree. And again, I'm using Charlie's memorials.
I would totally agree with Glenn on that point. If he says because remember, the same thing happened last year for Kendrick Lamar. During the halftime show, it peaked. I think it was at 132 million or something like that. Emmanuel Acho said it. But there's a great chance that with Bad Bunny, it could do the same thing, right? We're talking about for years, I want to say especially 3 years ago, he was the #1 streaming artist in the world. He's probably one of the, if I'm not mistaken, he's one of the only people that's passed Taylor Swift. And also, from what I understand, they did ask Taylor Swift this year, but she said no. She didn't necessarily say no. She wanted the rights to her performance. And the NFL was like, yeah, you're not getting that. So she was like, all right, I'm good. I'm not going to do it. So they went to the next person. The only person that surpassed her in streams is Bad Bunny. So, I mean, if we're talking about could it still peak at halftime show like it did last year for Kendrick Lamar or more, I think that's absolutely possible just because he's been the #1 stream artist in the world for a couple of years in a row. But these two are on to something right here because we have let's just call it, I'm not going to say conservatives, Republicans, but some people are calling it, MAGA radical right, which I think is hilarious. But they think that all of MAGA basically doesn't want to watch the Super Bowl simply because of Bad Bunny. I don't think it's simply because of that. I think there are some things that are tied to that I haven't talked about just yet. Like, for instance, Bad Bunny doesn't have English-speaking music. Do I care about that? I don't. I'm not as bilingual as I used to be. I'm not as fluent in Spanish as I used to be. I can still read, and there are things that I can still say. But, I mean, yeah, people who have no type of relational equity with Spanish culture at all, they're not going to be very interested in Bad Bunny, right? And this is no disrespect to my white counterparts, right? My Caucasian brothers and sisters. But, they sometimes don't even do well with just the pronunciation of a word, right? That's where we hear jalapeno from, right? So, which I think is ridiculously hilarious. But I mean, a lot of them just aren't going to be interested in it if they don't have Spanish-speaking relatives, if they're not in any part of Spanish-speaking culture, they don't have friends, they don't have family, they're not familiar with it, so they're not going to be too interested in it. So I think these two are onto something when they say, well, it also is a half step, and it makes a statement if during the halftime show, everyone just turns to something else, which Jason Whitlock's I absolutely would not be watching the Super Bowl this year because I feel like it's spitting in God's face. I'm that's a little tough. You don't have to watch the halftime show. I don't think you do. But I get it. As a follower of Jesus, his thing is probably, listen, the fact that they were even willing to go this far and get this type of performer. So I'm speaking from the perspective of people who are extremely conservative and they believe in God. There are some things out there about Bad Bunny that conservatives and let's just say Christ followers probably won't care for too much. Not all, but probably a good amount of them, right? They probably aren't going to like the fact that you could see Bad Bunny and like some type of women's dress attire on a Vanity Fair cover magazine, right? They're probably not gonna care for sometimes that he comes off extremely like metrosexual to some degree. Like these are things that like extremely conservative people like probably aren't gonna be interested in seeing. And I'm just gonna give you a picture, right? I'm gonna paint a picture for you. This would literally be like a dude in a dress getting out of a monster truck at a monster truck show. Like the crowd would lose it, right? So just kind of know your room. I think it's the kind of read the room type of thing that's happening, and people are like, what the hell literally is happening right now, right? This is a person that is against Donald Trump. They're anti-ICE, right? They're pro illegal immigration. So a lot of people who voted for President Trump to get to be put in office, right? Which now at this point we're talking about, my man took all swing states, right? He, like, we saw what the map looked like. You have a lot of people who wanted him in office in favor of getting the immigrants out. So you have somebody like Bad Bunny who's like, bet I'm not even going to tour the U.S. because I don't want people coming to my performances and ICE is like waiting outside for them. So this is only extremely controversial because he's against some of the things that the current sitting president has been put in place for, which this is not a shocker. This has happened throughout history. I love the way Ben Shapiro said it. He's like, I mean, yeah, he's a schmuck, but who cares? Like, you know, that's kind of like the way Ben Shapiro put it.
Service as our blueprint, that produced incredible numbers all over the internet, anywhere that was broadcast. And I think we could do the same thing with musical performance. If Brandon Lake, Forrest Frank, Creed, whomever, if offered the alternative that, hey, just turn your TV off or whatever and open up your iPhone or your iPad or whatever, flip over on your smart TV to a counter program Super Bowl halftime, rather than invite the devil, Satan, into your home, I think a lot of people would take that option.
I know I would. Jason, thank you so much. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Glenn.
Are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate it. Appreciate
I love
you.
Thank you.
Hey, I know this has been a tough weekend for you, given the church deal, and so I appreciate you making the time for me today.
Oh, I love you, Jason. Thank you so much. Jason Whitlock, you can follow him at
shout out to Jason Whitlock.
theblaze.com/fearless. If you never watch Jason, he is fantastic.
Theblaze.com, Jason. I watch Jason Whitlock often. All right, guys, so we're going to switch gears, a little bit more of a light-hearted subject, still on Bad Bunny, but shout out to Mikey and Rob. I watch these guys often, gave them a like already. Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show Facebook comments. So they did this in a little lighthearted manner. They kind of read some of the Facebook comments to their page about what people were saying about Bad Bunny being selected as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime pick act. So we're gonna just see where the crowd is at with Bad Bunny, what some people think about him. And like I said, I knew it would be mixed. I knew it would be a mixed crowd. You're gonna have some people, and you've already seen that some people are like, yo, Bad Bunny's gonna put on like a great show. Some people are like, yo, like this is one of the top stream artists in the world next to Taylor Swift, like he's gonna do great. You have some people who are like, man, I wish Taylor Swift would have said yes. I don't know. I mean, I don't really care. Like, that's crazy because if I just think about picking between the two of them, I'm not a huge fan like either way. Like, not that there's anything wrong with either one of them, but so I don't know. I don't know if one would have been better than the other. I can definitely tell that the NFL was going for exposure with the two people that they asked, just because #1 streaming artists, not in America. These two are in the world, so it doesn't matter where you're at. Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, those are the top two. So I mean, it's a mixed emotions, you know. Some people are like, who the hell is that? I've never heard of like Demonic Bunny or Mr. Bunny. And then you have some people that are like, yo, how could you not know who Bad Bunny is? So I think it's going to be mixed. As far as the views dipping at halftime, I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think, like, I get what Glenn Beck and Jason Whitlock are talking about, but we have to see. Because if I'm going to be honest with you guys, if a lot of people think that they're choosing Bad Bunny's performance as, I don't know, some type of retaliation, let's just call it, that word's okay, or some form of spiritual warfare against, let's just say, the revival that's kind of taking place around the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, then yeah, then at that point I can see more than enough people being like, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna watch this. And I'm like, listen, if enough Christians move on the same accord and they decide not to do something, we might see a dip in those numbers. But right now, I don't think that that's gonna happen, just simply because just how much he streamed. That's the only reason why I have a doubt about it. Like, the dude is streamed a lot. So for me, I'm looking at it like, if it peaked last year with Kendrick Lamar, I don't see how it can't peak with Bad Bunny. But again, we have a lot of things going on, and you have some people believing that Bad Bunny is chosen in retaliation to this kind of Christ-like revival we're seeing around the death of Charlie Kirk. So like I said, if that's the case, then we'll see a dip in the numbers if, you know, the Holy Spirit's moving and the brothers and sisters are on one accord. Because we know what happens when those Christians start acting up. All right, let's take a listen.
Bad Bunny is playing the Super Bowl halftime show. Straight out of Puerto Rico, he is an absolute star.
Worldwide.
Just acting, singing, all of it.
Right.
He hosting SNL and being in movies. Bad Bunny playing the Super Bowl halftime show. Uh-oh! And we read the Facebook comment section. Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, no, I don't want to do this one.
Dark place on the internet.
Oh, no.
It's time for 96.1 Kiss Facebook comments.
These are some Facebook comments on Bad Bunny playing the Super Bowl halftime show. Brad R. Crap like this is the reason I stopped watching the NFL 5 years ago. Ruin our game, you morons! Patty B. I had to Google to see who he was, and there he was, standing in his underwear. It was very sexual. That is not for me. Victor J, for anybody that doesn't know him, Bad Bunny is Happy Gilmore's caddy, but he also sings on the side. All right, listen, this is how you gotta sell it.
That's perfect.
This is how you gotta sell it, because your uncle's gonna be mad it's not Metallica again for the 10th year in a row, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know who Bad Bunny is. I don't even speak Spanish.
Bad Bunny.
Spanish, what happened? Our game.
Bunny who?
And just be like, it's Happy Gilmore's caddy.
Bunny.
Wait, he is?
I've seen that.
Happy Gilmore's caddy can sing and dance.
What in the hell?
Shauna A. I literally cannot wait to dance to Bad Bunny's music in the American Legion, where we always watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
They didn't quite get Kendrick Lamar's halftime show.
No.
They're definitely going to get Culture Shock this time around. It's going to be fire. What the hell's this? Listen, there's going to be so many good reaction
At
videos.
least Kendrick Lamar was speaking
Here's
English.
Bad Bunny
That's what they're
playing
going to
for
say.
The American Legion? Yes. Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show Facebook comments here. Jeffrey L. Can't just give us what we all want. Well, first of all, Jeff, we all don't want the same thing.
What does Jeff want?
Metallica, Pearl Jam, Aerosmith, Foo Fighters.
Jelly Roll.
Goes with rap, crap, and now Spanish. I don't know anyone that listens.
I'm just saying. Like, I'm not saying he said Metallica, Pearl Jam, Aerosmith. Damn. He went back with those guys. Like, not too far back, because I listen to all of them, but I get what he's saying. But I was talking to my wife about this, and I'm like, bro, why didn't they put, like, Jelly Roll out there or something like that? That would have been dope. And then even if not Jelly Roll, my wife was like, yeah, they should have did Teddy Swims. I'm like, oh, Teddy Swims, that would have been fire. So I don't know why they chose Bad Bunny. I mean, I do kind of know. It's just ridiculous.
It's crap. Yeah.
What Jeff all wants. All the Jeffs.
You're,
I don't really care. I don't watch halftime show too much anymore. I literally can't remember the last time I watched a halftime show anyway. The last time I watched the Super Bowl halftime, I'm not even kidding you guys, I don't know who did it. Has 50 Cent did it? Because if 50 Cent did it, then that's probably the last time I watched it. That's a shame that I don't even remember. Yes, 50 Cent performed at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2022. Okay, so that's the last time I saw it, and I didn't even watch the whole thing. That's why I didn't know that it was actually pretty recent. That's like 3 years ago. So yeah, I just didn't know, and that's which also featured Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick. Yeah, because I remember Eminem coming out. Yep, that's the last time that I watched like any length of it. any of it in like close to its entirety because I do not normally watch the halftime show, and it's literally the same thing for me in the NBA. Like I usually don't watch halftime. Like it comes on and I go like do something or catch up on something before the game comes back on. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think if you're not a Bad Bunny fan or you're not particularly happy about this because you feel like it's some type of retaliatory act, just don't watch halftime show.
I'm the head Jeff. I am the Jeff. I'm in charge. Head Jeff. And let me, on behalf of all Jeffs, Aerosmith, Foo Fighters. What in the hell? All right, again, it's nothing against those rock bands. We're talking classic rock. We're talking things that peaked decades ago. It's just not what the NFL does anymore, right?
Timeless music. Yeah.
Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show Facebook comments. Stephen J. I'll do exactly what I did at Super Bowl halftime show last year. Go take a dump and pick it back up in the start of the third quarter. Hell yeah, Steve. Good for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what people do.
You showed the NFL. Sherry S. Bad Bunny. He's sort of like the great value brand Pitbull, huh?
Wow.
No. No. I know Pitbulls.
The great value brand
like
Pitbull, though, that's
They're both
crazy.
Spanish, man? They're both Spanish
I'm
guys.
familiar with the Pitbulls.
It's not Pitbull, though. This is not Pitbull.
Fireball.
Chris B here. NFL took this game from us when they handed the halftime show to Jay-Z. Halftime is for three things for me now. Take a dump, have a smoke, and grab a new beer. Oh,
Pretty much. That's what a lot of people do.
Who is us exactly, buddy?
You know. Jesus. You know.
Yeah, whatever.
Ugh. Sam K, Spanish rap crap. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. And the Browns better not make the Super Bowl because I'm not watching it. I mean, don't worry.
You've been marked safe from the Super Bowl, sir.
Breaking news. Marked safe from the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show announcement. Matt W. here. I don't even speak Spanish and don't understand it.
Oh, okay.
I won't be watching this with subtitles. Just stupid, man.
I won't be watching it with subtitles.
Question for you, Matt W. How big are the truck nuts on your Dodge Ram? How big are they?
They're so big they're dragging.
Rap crap last year and Spanish this year. Yeah. But this is Chris H.
Oh,
is this all they could afford? I'm willing to donate to book better talent. What's the NFL's PayPal account? All right, just if you don't know who Bad Bunny is, just say, I'm not sure who this guy is, and keep it moving. You know? I just hate, it's just like, I don't know who this guy is, so I hate him.
Bad Bunny.
He
sells out stadiums.
Spanish?
Around the world.
No! John W. here. This is the last one for this round.
Okay.
John W. in the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show Facebook comments, another one of Satan's Warriors.
Oh my God.
666 through my TV. I say no to the Super Bowl. Oh, damn! Send him to the crossroads. He's never coming back.
Not today, Satan.
Bad Bunny.
Not through my TV.
Satan's Warriors. 666 through the TV. Oh! Into the Super Bowl, he is a massive, just huge worldwide star, acting, singing, he's so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just played Happy Gilmore's caddy and Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
By the way, he's a wrestler too.
He is.
Yeah, he does do that.
Not much he doesn't do.
He had a Puerto Rican street fight match a couple years ago in the WWE, and it was electric.
You're right.
So Bad Bunny's getting the Super Bowl halftime show, right? Danny V. The people who don't know that Puerto Ricans are also U.S. citizens are about to be big mad. Oh, yeah.
Dude, they're like retarded too. That's why I'm like, what is happening?
They got a Puerto
Who doesn't
Rican
know Puerto
up there?
Rico's a U.S.
I thought
territory?
this was America. Well, actually, no, I don't think so. It's just.
Yeah, they're losing their minds, and I'm just like, okay, maybe they don't count. Maybe those people, because you know we got those people over here. This is America. So maybe they don't know that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. That's just what I summed it up to.
Puerto Rican up there? I thought this was America. Well, actually, no, I don't think so. It's just,
That is a valid point.
where we are as a country.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was sitting back and just going, okay, this.
I'm gonna piss
I'm pretty
everyone
sure
off.
Jay-Z and Rock Nation every year just go, what's gonna make your racist uncle the most mad?
That's why I just said it. I said it's like he's sitting there. He's like, yeah, I'm about to piss everybody off.
In Rock Nation every year just go, what's gonna make your racist uncle the most mad?
Right.
And then they pick that halftime show, right? Kenny W should have been Imagine Dragon.
Oh my gosh.
Just one? It's Imagine Dragons. No, just one?
No, Kenny.
I just need a dragon out
I
there.
need one out there, okay?
I don't need multiple. I just want one. Imagine Dragon. Drew G. Bugsy Bunny. Hell no. Bring Metallica or something. Okay, just stop with Metallica. Michael T. Isn't he a wrestler too? I know that dude from wrestling.
Hell yeah.
I was hoping Kid Rock or Jason Aldean.
I thought he was going to be excited for a second.
Josie V. I don't even know who Bad Bunny is. Guess it's another snooze fest I won't watch. Gosh forbid getting actual music for once. Like
Who?
Metallica! I mean,
Always Metallica.
Donnie E. For crying out loud, can we please get some freaking rock bands for once? Metallica.
That'd be nice.
AC/DC.
I'll name them all.
AC/DC. Def Leppard. I mean, I can keep going. This pop rap porn show is
Def
really
Leppard,
old and
that would be
disgusting.
Porn?
I mess with Def Leppard.
Porn? Hold on. Did you just call Bad Bunny old? But then you offered
man.
Def Leppard? Oh,
Hey,
God.
Corn.
God. I can't. I hate this.
AC/DC.
God, I hate this. Why do we read the Facebook comments? Heidi W. Bad Bunny, man, WTF. Why can't it be Chevelle or Breaking Benjamin or Shine Down? I can't believe that people can't figure this out yet. I'll have to show world stage. Betsy D. Bugs Bunny would be better. Oh, good one, Betsy.
Oh my God.
JD strikes again. Halftime was a great
Bunny would be
bathroom.
better.
I told everyone last year I was going to take a hot Jay-Z at halftime, and I'll do it again.
I'm taking a hot Jay-Z.
Todd P. Looks like I get to keep the not watching the halftime show streak alive. All right, Todd, prize in the mail.
Pretty much. Not watching the halftime show streak.
For so many years. Kim V. Easter Bunny probably would have been. Oh my God.
The Easter Bunny. Dude, they're killing me with these bunnies.
Janet B here, but I almost said Bugs Bunny halftime show. It would have been better, okay? All right. Metallica and Bugs Bunny. But Bugs Bunny is a backup dancer, but not regular Bugs. It's Bugs when Bugs is ladybugs. You know what I'm saying?
That's my favorite bug, ladybugs.
Listen, man. Okay. All right. I love when Bugs Bunny dresses up like ladybugs and tries to trick people.
O-R-N-Y.
Yo.
Ladybugs. Or
No, y'all got problems. They got problems.
I want the name of the podcast today to be horny for ladybugs.
Oh my God. What the hell?
And one more here. Ray H. What about some classic rock that I can get under the sheets with my lady to? Dude.
I'm dead.
H-O-R-N-Y. Calm down there, Uncle Ray.
Dude, I'm dead. You gotta love it.
So Democrats have officially shut down the
Brandon Lee.
How
man.
big are
Shout out to Mikey and Rob. Oh, I thought I was already subscribed. It must be with my other channel. All right, guys. So we're gonna switch gears. Let's look at the final clip of the live stream by Cliff Buell.
This is easily one of the most incredible things I have seen on the internet. Watch.
I don't come from any kind of money, and I've never owned a suit before. My wife bought me this suit. Our anniversary's coming up, and we have a nice anniversary plan. We make a little bit of money now, and I'm proud to say that because that's certainly not where either one of us come from. And I feel good in this suit, man. And I just want my wife to know she made me feel good. It's a $300 suit. I ain't never had nothing like this before in my life, and I tell you what, okay, then you'll flip here, so I'm gonna lose some of you. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, never met that guy before in my life. And something else that I've never done before in my life is believe in God. I'm gonna wear this suit to church. I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to try to be a better father, husband, and leader for my family. They deserve that. My phone fell down. I guess that's the devil trying to mess me up right now. I'm gonna try, y'all. Look at this suit. I look good, bro. My wife made me feel this way. Charlie's made me feel this way.
This is easy.
I thought that was a great clip. You know, a lot of people went to church the weekend, like literally, because Charlie died in the middle of the week, the weekend that he passed away. So I thought that was great. You know, he says that they make a little bit of money now, so he's not buying a suit to try to show off. They make a little money. They both don't come from that. His wife bought it for him because he wants to go to church, and he says he's never met Charlie, but the guy changed his life. He wants to try to be a better father, leader, husband. So that's another powerful, impactful story that just Charlie Kirk had on somebody else in the universe. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream until tomorrow. I'll see you guys back tomorrow for the daily live stream. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, love yourselves, love one another, and be peaceful. Peace.